Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching. For the past 31 years, myself and my company and my teammates, we've been solely teaching leaders how to coach. And one of the most unique things has happened over, I'd say, the last probably 4 or 5 years since the pandemic. I go back to a notion that I created 31 years ago. People don't coach because they say they don't have time. The real reason they don't coach is they don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. So fast forward, in the last 4 to 5 years, something interesting has happened. Coaching has been vaulted to the top of the list, especially when it comes to talent development needs. There are statistics out there by the Gallup organization, a great organization, that says, if we lead with strengths, people engage 8 times more. A study done at Harvard, Teresa Amable reports 76%, almost 8 out of 10 employees are at their most motivated state when they're progressing. It isn't reward, recognition, or money. So what does that teach us? We need to teach leaders how to coach, how to be positive. Now, here's the challenge for leaders. A great study by Tasha Urich, an industrial PhD psychologist, says in her survey, 95% of people said, yes, I'm highly self-aware. And then she tested them and she found out only 10% were. That means 8.5 out of every 10 people, specific to employees in this example, are lacking self-awareness. It makes it tough. Wouldn't it be great just to go up to somebody and say, by the way, you have a terrible attitude. You need to improve it. And the employee says, you're right. I got to improve. Now, I bet you're laughing. So what we've done the last 31, 32 years is we've been solely teaching leaders how to coach. Now, let me make a very strong comment. I love training. Training is not enough. So what we teach at Progress Coaching inside the course are 3 levels. We call them the tiers of learning: knowledge, skill, and behavior. They apply to learning coaching. Knowledge, train them on how to coach. Skill, they have to practice. And then 3, behavioral, confidence. That comes from repetition, cadence, practice, and positive reinforcement. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a slide deck and I'm going to show you what we teach. Then I'm going to show you the CoachApply platform, not only how we deliver training, not only how we deliver support, not only how we deliver self-help for your leaders so they can become better coaches, so they know what to do, they know what to say. I'm also going to demonstrate an artificial intelligence tool that makes coaching so easy for them. Here we go. Now, we're going to give you an overview of our Progress Coaching training system. Keep in mind, at our company, we have built over 300 plus coaching courses. Then we're going to demonstrate our all-in-one workplace coaching platform called CoachApply. And CoachApply is really what it stands for. We're going to help people apply coaching in the workplace. Now, I'm going to walk you through what we teach. That is critical because what we teach is done in a framework called qualms. You'll understand that here in a bit. Number 2, everything we do in terms of our support, our delivery, is done in the framework of qualms. Then I'm going to show you how we deliver and how we support, and then I'll give you an overview of our platform called CoachApply. Now, again, in my introduction, I showed you some numbers. The numbers are against leaders. Coaching has never been needed more. At the time of producing this webinar, I think it was Harvard Business Review said that over 70% of people were open or were actively seeking jobs due to a lack of career coaching and development. McKinsey in Q4 of 2022 said 41% were actively looking for jobs due to a lack of career development and coaching. Those are daunting numbers. Now, the qualms methodology, which is here on the right, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Qualm stands for questions, which build self-awareness. Remember, we talked about self-awareness. Activities, which drive positive change. The learning project, which builds accountability. The QAL is what you do with individuals or with groups. The motivator or the motivators is the WIFT, what's in it for them. We have a rule here at Progress Coaching. Never, ever, ever try to motivate anybody until you understand what motivates them. So if I'm talking to someone, my intentions are great, and I could give you countless case studies just like this, where I say, John, if you just get better at XYZ, you could become a future leader. And I entice him with a promotion. What if he doesn't want to go into leadership? Supplemental coaching. Remember at my introduction, I said, the number one reason people give for not coaching as leaders is they don't have time. Supplemental coaching is about 8 or 9 very specific targeted strategies that can be prescribed by the leader taking none of his or her time, meaning they're non-time intensive coaching strategies like peer-to-peer, observe and journal, self-coaching, observational coaching, peer-to-peer rotating practice sessions. We will teach you a variety of ways that leaders can not only save time, yet also accelerate talent development. So here's a quick guide. We're going to go through qualms here in a bit. That is our coaching framework. If you have time, there's a great article in Forbes magazine called Coaching to Resilience Using the Qualms Framework. We wrote the article. It's in Forbes magazine. To the right, 4 keys to coaching in the workplace. Be present. I promise you, you have leaders who struggle with that. Focus. They have to focus on a specific area. They have to focus on growth. And as a leadership coach, they have to be a practitioner of coaching. In the lower left, people change slowly. So we teach how to coach through the 3 stages of change. Typically, the 3 to 4 coaching sessions will comprise the effort stage, then 3 to 4 for the progress stage, and then for results where things become more predictable and sustainable, it's the next 3 to 4 sessions. So we typically, in a framework, we teach qualms, yet we encourage people to focus on 1 or 2 areas per quarter. That doesn't mean we ignore the other areas. Now, how do we coach? The tiers of learning are knowledge, skill, and behavior. So let's say you have somebody who's struggling with conflict. Knowledge. Do they know how to have a conversation of conflict thoughtfully and professionally? Skill. Have they practiced it? Behavior. Are they confident in doing it? Now think about that. How often do we talk to people who avoid conflict? Typically it's because they don't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, you can't practice something you don't know what to do. And confidence, no, I'm not going to have that conversation because it's really uncomfortable. Now, let's dive into qualms. Qualms is the QAL is our 4-step coaching conversation model. That is where we deal with people one-on-one or within groups. I will walk you through that here in a second. The motivator is the WIFT. What's in it for that person? What do they want? And then supplemental coaching, which accelerates coaching and leverages time. The 4-step model are the first 4 steps. That is the QAL. So let's say I'm coaching somebody, and I'll make this very simple, who wants to become a future leader. I've had a conversation, and we teach you how to have conversations around the motivator. And this person can be negative, yet they want to become a future leader. So the learning project could be, John, next week I want you to come in with 2 examples of where you went above and beyond the call of duty, potentially even random acts of kindness where you really invested in your fellow teammates. And how do you think that will help you achieve your goal of becoming a future leader? The learning project bestows accountability and ownership on the rightful owner, the person you're coaching. If you are the coach, that's all you have to remember, those learning projects. So then when John comes in, I'll ask questions such as, what did you do? What did you learn about yourself? What are the things you're going to do to maintain this continuity and this consistency? And we teach a whole battery of questions. Now, the activity might be to drive positive change, such as, well, John, teach me your schedule next week and teach me of 2 situations that you're somewhat targeting to really assist your teammates. Or, sounds like you're having an arduous relationship with Lisa. Let's practice that conversation. You cannot improve what you don't practice. At the end of the conversation, you use the same learning project. John, next we come in with 2 more examples. And what happens in this 4-step process, which by the way, only takes 8 to 12 minutes, it creates continuity and consistency. That 4-step model starts to push the person through consistency of application, which requires scheduling, through the 3 levels of change: effort, progress, and results. Now, when I know that John wants to become a future leader, and I go out and get him a book, let's say by John Maxwell on leadership, and I drop it off on his desk and say, I really am enjoying working with you, or I'm really looking forward to working with you, you've created emotional attachment to something called change. Now, supplemental coaching, I might say, John, Susie in accounting is a fantastic leader. I'd love to have you meet with her twice. I've already spoke with her. And she wants to share with you on a biweekly basis some of the things she does to lead her team. I'd love to have you journal it and then write a monthly summary of what you've learned. The second thing is I might have him read a book and email me a summary of, let's say, a chapter every 2 weeks. Now think about that. That commitment, which will accelerate talent development, will only take 8 to 12 minutes a week. So this is what we teach. Now, we do something very unique at Progress Coaching. Think about Microsoft. They have programs, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Progress Coaching, it's a program. It's something that we teach, right? Now, with that being said, let me share this with you. It is also an application language, much like Microsoft, who uses C++ or Visual Basic to make their programs. We also apply qualms to people's sales processes, their corporate values, their customer service models. We have products for DISC, emotional intelligence, motivator assessment, you name it, or we can custom build it. So Qualms is not only our coaching framework of how to coach, it is also our mapping methodology specific to topics or workplace challenges. You're actually going to see an example of that in CoachApply. So as we go forward, we deliver our training and learning, which I'll illustrate here in a second, the difference, inside of our platform called CoachApply. That's where we train people on Progress Coaching. Now, after people go through the training, we encourage people to have not only us, or if you want to have internal certified trainers of Progress Coaching, we deliver something called pods. It's another fancy name for group cohorts. And this is where leaders get together every single month, at least once or twice, applying what they've learned. CoachApply then serves as a reinforcement and support to build confidence. And then we also measure the effectiveness actually from within the platform CoachApply as we go forward. Now, the pods is very important. This is a diagram. Ignore column 2 just for this sake. Every single month, we will have a session. We will have some instruction. And the framework is every leader will come in and share someone that they're coaching. The area they're coaching, they're going to share it with partners, and they're going to practice conversations, or they're going to go through critical thinking exercises. Now, what are we doing every quarter? Jump to column 3, the 12-week framework. The first 4 sessions is the effort stage, then the progress stage, then the results stage. And what we do after every single session, we do an assessment, reviewing where people are learning, who they're coaching, what's been working, what's been challenging. And at the end of the quarter, we provide clients a very comprehensive report. Now, let me be very clear. We can run your group cohorts, or we can train your internal trainers to do it as well through our certification program. So remember, what we teach also becomes our mapping methodology, yet I cannot stress this enough. Outside of CoachApply, you need to get people practicing coaching. People will not arbitrarily get better. So what we've taught you so far is Qualms, our coaching framework, what we high level teach in Progress Coaching, and now we're going to show how we deliver it within the CoachApply platform. So what you're looking at here is CoachApply for one of our clients who's given us permission to show you their version. Now, this is easily customizable, but I'm going to stay really focused on the core features and benefits. As you can see down here at the bottom, there are controls, table of contents, thumbnails, notes. You can also share this. You can also print things. You can download things as PDFs. That will all make sense to you. I am not going to cover every single aspect of CoachApply. Here's why. It's a lot. So I'm going to go to the table of content, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. But you'll notice this arrow. What this allows you to do is just navigate the platform. So it's very easy. It's like flipping a book. Here's the great thing. You can have a standard password. You can have no password or login whatsoever. That's the cool thing. No administration, no arduous things that are often associated with LMS systems. Now, first of all, we are not against LMS platforms. We use one ourselves. We wanted to use this differently. This is also accessible on mobile devices as well. So CoachApply delivers our training, yet it also helps leaders self-educate and get self-help. So let me walk you through this. Up in the left here, we have the Coaching Training Center. You click on that arrow. It shows all the courses available to you. And we can add courses. We can build courses. Coaching Maps, I will walk you through that. Those are downloadable mini strategic coaching plans to today's most common workplace challenges. If you have someone lacking accountability, you click on that arrow. It gives you a series of choices. I will demonstrate that here in a second. The Lights of Coaching actually gives you sections like questions. And then we go topic by topic. Here are the questions for accountability, for attitude, and so on. I will demonstrate that here in a second. Now we have sections of micro coaching lessons, master coaching lessons, micro coaching partner lessons. We also have areas for trainers, instructional coaching practice kits. We also have coaching playbooks. We also have an assessment center and a tracking center where you can track what's going on inside your company. I may not get to all of that. So let me come back to the Coaching Training Center, and I'm going to take you to Progress Coaching. Here's how all of our courses work. The why of coaching, qualms overview. You've kind of heard about that. The 4-step model, the tiers of learning, knowledge, skill, and behavior. I've already given you introductions to those. So in each one of these, you'll notice that there's a video. And you'll hear that in the background, and that's us narrating the lesson. This lesson is 5 minutes. Most of them are between 3 and 7 minutes. Now, this is something called a coaching loop. Let's be candid. When we roll out courses, when we teach things live, and literally just yesterday, the day before I recorded this, I was teaching a workshop and I had 3 or 4 people literally on their phones sitting within visibility of the CEO of the company. And so I'm not criticizing them, yet I'm sharing, are they really attentive? Are they really going to be able to quantify what they've learned? The same thing happens in a lot of LMS platforms, right? We run a report. John's at 82%, Lisa's at 97%, Bill's at 10%. He's barely started. We do something different. We educate people that we're going to ask you to share what you've learned per module. It'll take you 2 to 3 minutes. That's how we're going to quantify what you've learned. So when someone clicks on this link, it takes them out to a form. Now, I'm not going to fill this out completely. So you can see it's customized to the client. So I'm going to put in some bogus names here and a bogus email address. So what was your major takeaway? And you'll see these buttons at the bottom here. And so I'm at 4 of 5. Next, what team are you a part of? So we can also track this by team, by region, totally up to the client. Okay. Now I'm going to stop there because I don't want to screw up my client's data. So for all of these modules for Progress Coaching, Coaching Steps Volume 1, 2, I can go to Step 7, and you will see that there's a link here as well. So what we've done, everybody, is we've created a learning loop, a coaching loop. Not only are we instructing leaders on how to coach, we're actually coaching them while they're learning coaching. So we have, I think, 6 courses here, and that is what we have for leaders. Now we can add to that, but that's our core product as we sit here today. It's about 2.5 to 3 years worth of training material. Now, you're a leader. You have access to this platform because that's where you take the course. The coaching maps are delivered in the form of qualms. So let's take conflict. Let's say deciding when to end the conversation, fact-driven conflict, handling conflict, avoiding conflict through communication. Notice something. The Q, the A, the L, the S. There's a whole separate section on how to coach to the motivator. So qualms in the maps just excludes the M. The whole another section covers that. We give you the exact questions to ask specific to this situation. We give you suggested activities to deploy during your coaching sessions. We even verbalize how to use the learning project, and we give you typically 2 to 3 supplemental coaching strategies. The leader who might have someone who's avoiding conflict through communication can now download this or print this. The download is typically in a PDF format. I hope you find this cool. Everything that's in the coaching maps is delivered to support it in the framework of the very material that they learned within that qualms framework. Now, we've gone a step further. I'm going to just take the coaching maps up, go to coaching, the lights of coaching. Now, we give a pretty extensive overview of how to coach, and I won't go through all of this, but we've really detailed how to have the conversation, how to use the lights of coaching, etc. But what we've done, as you can see, is for questions, let me go back to conflict. We give you questions. The green light is the effort stage. We just started. The yellow light is sessions 5 to 8. We should be getting some progress going. The red light is we're not seeing results. We need to be a little bit more assertive with our approach. We do the same thing with activities. We give you suggested activities. The green light, we're just getting going. Yellow light needs attention. We're at the progress stage. Red light needs immediate attention. We're not getting where we need to go, which just raises the level of assertiveness. Now, here's what's really cool. Let me jump down to supplemental coaching. You'll notice something. We give you links to suggested materials to make it easy for you. Almost every section will have a book or something that people can use. So, let me do a quick review. Go back to everything in here is color-coded. Questions are green, activities are blue, red are learning projects, and then supplemental coaching strategies. We have the Coaching Training Center with about 6 courses. We walk you through that, the coaching maps to self-educate, and then the lights of coaching. Now, I'm going to stop there. Here's the cool thing that leaders can do. Down in the lower left of every page, you'll see the CoachApply icon. If I click on that, it will open up a one-to-one help ticket. There's about a 1-minute video of how to use this platform. And all it does is if you create a message, you might say, I've got a situation. I really need some help. Or you know what? I don't want to send it via text. I want to turn off my camera and send an audio message. Or if I want to send a video message. And what's cool is when you send the message, it'll ask you to create an account. We have a plugin with a great company called Clarity Flow. When you create your account, what will happen is you will not be charged. Your people and yourself will create an account, and then you will have a private conversation going with one of our coaches as well, one of our certified coaches. You're getting real-world help from someone who is experienced in workplace coaching. Now, let me get rid of this just for a second. Down on the right side of every page is an icon called CAM. CAM stands for CoachApply Mentor. This is our artificial intelligence tool. So let me see, what are 3 what questions? I'm a big fan of teaching that you start with what questions. What are 3 what questions for someone lacking initiative? I think there's going to be a spelling error there. And so when I click that, what that did, everybody, it's reading CoachApply. It's not going out to ChatGPT. So let me take this and let me copy this here. What are 3 activities for someone lacking initiative? So if you have a leader who's preparing for a coaching conversation, what it's doing right now is reading the platform and giving them very quick answers so they can prepare and deliver and educate themselves on the coaching conversations they need to have. That is CoachApply for leaders. We provide unlimited access to this tool along with the other tool, which is that one-to-one help. What is coming soon is a plug-in practice application module that will be delivered via the desktop and mobile app plugged into this platform that, guess what, measures people's coaching conversation skills. Now, what you're looking at is a lot. I'm going to jump all the way to the assessment center. We have built a series of assessments all the way down to additional assessment tools. Here we charge because we're DISC and EQI certified, but we also have about 5 or 6, soon to be about 10 to 20 assessments that your leaders can run as much as they want. If they want to assess grit or what they learned after learning or teammate assessments or leadership self-assessment, you can run these as much as you want. And we give interpretation guides of how to interpret the results. Now, the tracking center measures if you want people to give progress updates of what they're doing, areas that they're coaching within, coaching stats specific to what they're doing, maybe team coaching insight, all of that will populate. Now, I've shown you a lot, right? I'm going to come all the way up to the coaching training center. All of this information from the tracking center to all these modules, it goes somewhere. Where does it go? What you're looking at is the dashboard of this client. And you will notice on the left, there's a dashboard. We can see people's specific responses. We're actually seeing how people are thinking and learning. We can go to teams, how each person's team is doing, company report, employee report. And here's what's really cool. You have your menu over here and to the left. Let me see how Bill Hunter's doing. I can actually see his responses. And it shows the percentage to complete. Up to the right, I have Aurora leaders, which is the client, and their employees. We also have an employee platform, which I'll show you here quickly. What are you looking for? Now, they are really centered on just progress coaching right now. So if I go to critical coaching lessons, there won't be any data because, by the way, they haven't started yet. Now, let me take you back. This is for employees. So what we're also doing is teaching them things like EAT feedback, how to accept and receive feedback. Employee 52 lessons of being a great teammate. The employee difference, how to differentiate yourself as an employee. The 33 workshop series. We probably have about 3 years of teaching employees how to become approachable and coachable. We make it easy for them to become coached and approached. And they go through the same process. They're going to fill out these forms, and those forms will populate to their live dashboard. Then what I do is I go down to Aurora employees, and then I just simply look for the correct module. It's that simple. So what we're doing, everybody, is we're providing a fixed cost, unlimited option for both leaders and employees. Now, let me tease you. We also have coaching to DISC. We also have understanding DISC. We also have coaching to emotional intelligence. We also have understanding emotional intelligence. Now, this is private labeled for Aurora Cooperative. Otherwise, we have a standard look and feel. With that being said, with our platform, if you want to have a video here from your CEO instead of me, great. We can customize this to you. We can customize it to your look and feel. We can change the colors for you. That is the CoachApply platform, and we haven't even covered everything. So if you feel overwhelmed, the next step is let's set up a demo. Let's go through it slowly. Tell us your needs. We'll show you exactly how we can use this platform to help you drive top talent, retain talent, build succession plans, help people overcome change, and then measure not only the learning process, but what's going on in your workplace as well. So let me give you a quick recap, and I'm sure you're overwhelmed. We have training. The training is coupled with, we actually validate learning. We have support. You know, so often leaders or employees will say, well, I need more training. No, you need to self-educate. You need to self-coach. We've made that all easy and accessible, unique to what each leader needs versus running classes or what have you. We also have tools to help in real-world situations, working with a certified coach. This is all built into the cost, by the way. And our artificial intelligence platform, CAM. That's expanding, by the way. Then we also have measurement tools where we will give you a dashboard showing you what's going on inside your company. What are employees learning? What are leaders learning? What's the statistics inside the marketing department? We can do all that for you. So what we've done is we've gone way beyond the traditional training approach. And, if I sound excited, I am. Because one of the things, I want to share this with you, that I've hated for 25 years. I go to client sites. We used to do what is a 1 to 2 day best practice session. People would take the online course. I'd show up magically for 1 or 2 days. I'd get all these smiley face reviews and people would say, oh, they loved it. And I hated it. I hated it because people weren't practicing or applying it. It was a training event. So the critical component here that we haven't talked about is we have a certified train the trainer program. If you want us, we have a team of coaches that can do it. Or if you want to run cohorts, that is critical to this. So when people get done with progress coaching, they enroll in a monthly. I would encourage 24 to 36 months. I get the question all the time. How long does it take to create a coaching culture? I can give you case studies of what's worked and what companies have fallen off the rails. 36 to 48 months. You have to practice. They have to be applying. How do we do that? Quarterly. Who are you coaching? First 4 sessions, effort, then progress, then results. And we measure that as well. So we have really put a blanket around, we think just about everything to help you build that coaching culture. Now, what are next steps? If you're not interested, we won't bug you. If you're interested, we will put into the course a link to schedule some time with us. And I give you my word. We don't even employ salespeople. We are debt free. I'm not going to get you in a headlock and try to coerce you. We are interested in companies who want to help leaders become great leadership coaches. And we're interested in working with companies who want to build approachable, coachable employees. When you do that together, you build a really positive workplace culture. So the next step, you can email me if you like, tim@progresscoachingleader.com. You can also schedule on our calendar, reach out to us, and we would be happy to do a demo. We'd be happy to even build you a sample site you can play with under your logo and brand. That's the other thing we didn't talk about. If you notice when we walked you through our client's version, you don't see our logo anywhere. It's all private labeled to the client. I look forward to the next steps. If there are going to be next steps, reach out to us. We'd love to walk you through it. Thanks, everybody.